For more than 2 centuries, men have died digging into a tiny island off the coast of Canada, chasing a treasure that may not even exist. 7 people are said to have lost their lives to its curse. Billions have been spent. And after 230 years of digging, drilling, and drowning, nobody has ever found what is supposedly buried down there. Some say it's pirate gold. Some say it's the Holy Grail. And some say the whole thing was never a treasure at all. Welcome to the mystery of the Oak Island Money Pit. On the south shore of Nova Scotia, in a quiet bay called Mahone Bay, sits a small, privately owned island covered in oak trees. It looks completely unremarkable. But beneath its surface lies one of the most obsessed over holes in human history. The Money Pit is a vertical shaft that seems to have been dug by human hands, then carefully booby-trapped with wooden platforms, flood tunnels, and coated stones. Every attempt to reach the bottom has ended the same way, with the pit flooding with seawater, as if whoever built it wanted the treasure to stay buried forever. The legend begins in the summer of 1795, when a teenage farmer named Daniel McGinnis was exploring the island. He noticed a strange circular depression in the ground, with an old tackle block hanging from a tree above it. Stories had circulated for years that the pirate Captain Kidd had buried treasure somewhere in the area. McGinnis recruited 2 friends, John Smith and Anthony Vaughan, and they started digging. Just 2 feet down, they hit a layer of flagstones. Then, every 10 feet, they found a platform made of oak logs. The boys dug down 30 feet before they got scared and gave up. But the pattern was clear: somebody had built something down there, on purpose, and they did not want it found. Over the next 200 years, the search became an obsession. In 1802, the Unsolved company dug down to 90 feet, finding more oak platforms, layers of charcoal, putty, and something very strange: coconut fiber, which does not grow anywhere near Nova Scotia. They also found a large stone slab covered in mysterious symbols, which some claim translated to a warning: 40 feet below, 2 million pounds are buried. Then the pit flooded with seawater, rising and falling with the tide. In 1849, the Truro Company drilled into the shaft and hit a wooden platform at 98 feet, followed by something described as metal in pieces. They pulled up 3 links of a gold chain. But the water kept coming, and the money ran out. One after another, treasure companies went bankrupt, defeated by a shaft that seemed to flood itself on purpose. Here is where the story gets truly wild. When workers traced where the floodwater came from, they found an artificial beach at nearby Smith's Cove, built with 5 stone box drains leading out to the ocean. In other words, whoever built the Money Pit also built an elaborate underground plumbing system to flood it with seawater if anyone tried to dig down to the treasure. That is not the work of a panicked pirate hiding a chest. That is a massive engineering project, one that would have taken years and dozens of workers. So the theories exploded. Some say it was Captain Kidd. Others point to the Knights Templar, claiming the pit hides the Holy Grail or the Ark of the Covenant. Some say French engineers hid the treasury of Louisbourg there. Others think it is Marie Antoinette's jewels, Shakespeare's lost manuscripts, or a Freemason vault. Skeptics have pointed out that the entire story might be a hoax that grew over time, or that the pit might just be a collapsed natural sinkhole in the island's limestone. And then there is the curse. The legend says 7 men must die in the search for the treasure before it will ever be found. So far, at least 6 people have died on the island, and some count as many as 8. In 1861, a boiler exploded and killed a worker. In 1897, a man fell into the shaft. In 1965, 3 members of the Restall family died after being overcome by gas in a dig. Every death has only deepened the belief that something powerful is hidden down there. In 1965, a causeway was built so heavy machinery could be brought in, and millions of dollars were poured into the hole by increasingly desperate treasure hunters. In 2014, the mystery went mainstream. Two brothers from Michigan, Rick and Marty Lagina, bought a controlling interest in the island and brought in a full team of archaeologists, engineers, and divers for the History Channel show The Curse of Oak Island. Now in its 12th season, it is one of television's most successful reality shows. And here is the twist: they actually found things. They recovered centuries-old coins, a lead crossed some experts linked to the Knights Templar, human remains, old tools, and wood that carbon dated back hundreds of years. In 2021, they found a stone pathway in what they called a ceremonial area. Yet the main vault has still never been found. And some researchers now argue it never existed in the first place. They suggest the pit is actually a natural sinkhole, and that the so-called flood tunnels were just natural fissures in the limestone. The wooden platforms could have been from mining or an old tar-making operation. Even the gold chain has been dismissed as a planted publicity stunt. So what is the truth about Oak Island? After 230 years, nobody can say for certain. And that might be the real secret. The money pit may be the greatest treasure hunt in history precisely because it refuses to be solved. Every generation convinces itself that the answer is just a few more feet down, and every generation leaves the island poorer, but still believing. Whether it hides pirate gold, the Holy Grail, or nothing at all, Oak Island has already given us something more valuable, proof that human curiosity cannot be buried. If you enjoyed diving into this mystery, hit that subscribe button and join us for a new unsolved story every single day. And if you think you know what is really buried on Oak Island, drop your theory in the comments below, because we read every single one. Thanks for watching, and remember, sometimes the greatest treasure is the mystery itself.